Hello, welcome to Learn English with Technology podcast series, episode 9. We're diving deep into the world of AI and language learning today. You know how people have always dreamed of waking up fluent in another language? Well, it turns out that dream might not be so far-fetched after all, thanks to some amazing advances in AI in 2025.
Yeah, it's incredible how fast this technology is evolving. What's really exciting is how it's not just about fancy algorithms. It's actually changing the way our brains learn languages, thanks to insights from neuroscience. We're going to explore how AI is making language learning faster, more effective, and more personalized than ever before.
Okay, so let's break this down. Remember those clunky old translation apps that made everyone sound like robots? Well, forget about those. AI language tutors have become so advanced that they can hold philosophical debates in multiple languages.
It really is amazing. What's fascinating here is that these AI tutors don't just translate words, they can actually explain complex cultural nuances that most humans miss. They're picking up on humor, emotional cues, and even those unspoken communication rules that make a language truly come alive.
That's wild. It's like having a personal language expert who can guide you through every tricky situation. Imagine learning slang from real-time conversations happening in Tokyo, or having your AI tutor stop you from making a business faux pas in Japanese.
Exactly, and the science behind this is incredible. AI-assisted learning is forming neural connections in our brains up to 3 times faster than traditional methods. It's like having a personal trainer for your language learning. But instead of building muscles, you're building fluency.
So how does the AI actually achieve this? It sounds almost too good to be true.
Well, one of the key techniques is something called spaced repetition. The AI tracks which words and grammar rules you're struggling with, and then strategically reintroduces them at intervals that optimize memory retention. It's like having a language learning DJ who knows exactly when to drop the beat to make the information stick.
That makes so much sense. It's like those flashcards I used to use in school, but on a whole other level.
Precisely. And it goes even further. These AI systems are now mapping our individual learning patterns, predicting what we'll forget before it even happens. No more wasting time on stuff we already know. The AI tailors the lessons to our specific needs and even adapts to our learning style in real time.
So it's not just about learning faster. It's about learning smarter, right?
Absolutely. And forget those boring old textbooks. The AI can create immersive, multi-sensory learning experiences. Imagine learning Italian food vocabulary while virtually smelling herbs, or getting instant feedback on your Mandarin pronunciation from facial recognition software. It's a total sensory experience that engages your entire brain.
Wow, that sounds amazing. It's like stepping into another world. But hold on. With all this data being collected and analyzed, what about privacy? Is all this information safe?
That's a great question, and one that a lot of people have. The good news is that AI language learning is designed with privacy as a top priority.
I'm all ears. Tell me more about how that works.
Well, one of the key innovations is something called federated learning. It's a bit technical, but essentially it means that the AI can learn and improve from your use without actually sharing your data with anyone else.
So it's like having a personal trainer who can guide you without ever knowing your name or seeing your face.
Exactly. Your pronunciation slip-ups, those moments of grammar confusion, they all stay your little secret. The AI gets smarter by analyzing patterns across millions of users, but your individual data remains completely private.
That's a huge relief. So I can explore any aspect of language learning without worrying about my data ending up in the wrong hands.
Precisely. You have complete control over what's shared, even down to keeping certain practice topics private so you can feel confident and secure as you embark on your language learning journey.
Okay, so we've talked about how AI is making language learning faster, more personalized, and more private. But how is all this actually changing the global job market? I mean, what does it mean for someone's career potential?
That's a crucial question. The implications are huge. Imagine being fluent enough for international business in weeks, not years. Think about what that does for your career trajectory.
It's like leveling up your skills in a video game. But instead of earning virtual points, you're earning real-world opportunities.
Exactly. Companies are already hiring based on AI language potential. Workers are collaborating across borders seamlessly. Entirely new career paths are emerging.
So it's not just about speaking multiple languages anymore. It's about mastering the cultural nuances of business, which translates into a huge competitive edge.
Absolutely. AI isn't just about speaking. It's about understanding cultural context, building relationships, and navigating complex international situations.
This is all incredibly exciting. But let's be realistic. Traditionally, this type of education was only accessible to a select few. It was elitist and expensive. Remember those pricey tutors and language immersion trips?
You're right. But the game has changed. AI is offering similar benefits, often for a fraction of the cost. Imagine having access to a world-class language education for less than what you spend on your daily coffee.
That's a game changer. It means that this type of learning is no longer just for the wealthy. It's becoming accessible to everyone, regardless of their background or budget.
Precisely. AI is democratizing language learning, making it more inclusive and equitable. It's breaking down barriers and opening up opportunities for people all over the world.
Okay, so we've talked about how AI is making language learning faster, more personalized, more private, and more affordable. But there's something else that's been on my mind. You can speak a language perfectly, but still commit major cultural blunders, right?
Mhm.
How is AI addressing this?
That's a crucial point, and one that AI is now tackling head-on. You're right, you can have perfect grammar and pronunciation, but if you don't understand the cultural context, you can still make embarrassing mistakes. AI is now mapping what we call the invisible code of different cultures.
So it's like having a cultural GPS that guides you through the unspoken rules of communication.
Exactly. AI is teaching you the subtle levels of formality in Japanese, helping you avoid being too direct in Germany compared to, say, the United States. It's all about cultural sensitivity and emotional intelligence.
That's incredible. It's like having a cross-cultural communication expert by your side, whispering tips and advice in your ear.
Precisely. Imagine AI teaching you how much eye contact is appropriate in the Middle East, or preemptively warning you about potential misunderstandings based on your target language. It's like having a cultural guardian angel on your shoulder, guiding you through every interaction.
Wow, this is truly revolutionary. But before we all rush out to download every AI language app we can find, what's the key to finding the right system? Is there a best AI out there?
That's a great question, and the answer might surprise you. It's not about finding the best AI, but the best one for you.
So it's like finding the right pair of shoes. You wouldn't wear the same shoes for hiking as you would for a night out, right?
Exactly. Each AI system has its strengths and weaknesses, its own personality, if you will. The key is to spend time early on teaching the AI about your learning style.
So it's like training a personal assistant. You need to give them clear instructions and feedback so they can learn how to help you most effectively.
Precisely. Spend the first week exploring different features, giving feedback, and letting the AI get to know you. It's like building a relationship. The more you invest upfront, the better the AI will be able to support you in the long run.
That makes a lot of sense. So once you've found the right AI system and trained it to understand your learning style, what's the best way to integrate it into your daily life?
That's where the concept of micro-immersion comes in. Instead of setting aside large chunks of time for language learning, leverage AI to weave language practice into the fabric of your day.
So it's like turning your entire world into a language learning playground.
Exactly. Your morning coffee becomes a French conversation practice. Your commute transforms into a Spanish vocabulary session, and your evening walk becomes an Italian pronunciation workshop.
That sounds like a lot of fun. But how do you actually make that happen?
The key is to set up your learning environment. Your AI language system isn't just an app. It's an ecosystem that can integrate with your entire digital world.
So I could configure my smartphone to speak to me in my target language during certain hours.
Exactly. And you can set up your smart home devices to give commands in the language you're learning. Even your social media feeds can become part of your learning environment.
This is incredible. It's like turning your whole life into a language learning adventure.
Precisely. The more you integrate language practice into your daily routine, the faster and more effortlessly you'll learn.
Okay, so we've talked about choosing the right AI system, training it to understand your learning style, and integrating it into your daily life. But what about those moments when you hit a wall, when you feel like you're not making any progress? How can AI help you overcome those frustrating learning plateaus?
That's a great question, and one that AI is now addressing in some really innovative ways. Think of language plateaus like a maze. In the past, you had to find your way out through trial and error, but modern AI systems are like having a smart drone that can view the maze from above, showing you exactly where you're stuck and the best path forward.
So it's like having a language learning GPS that can guide you around those frustrating roadblocks.
Exactly. These systems use what researchers call micro-progress tracking. They can detect subtle improvements that you might not even notice yourself It's like having a coach who can celebrate your victories before you even realize you've won them.
That's so motivating. It's easy to get discouraged when you feel like you're not making any progress.
Yeah.
But if the AI can show you those small wins along the way,
Yeah.
it can keep you going.
Precisely. And it goes even further. These AI systems are now mapping what experts call cognitive resistance points. These are specific areas where your brain tends to push back against new language concepts.
So maybe it's those tricky grammar rules that just won't stick in your head, or those sounds that you just can't seem to pronounce correctly.
Exactly. The AI doesn't just identify these sticking points, it creates personalized cognitive bypass routes, alternative ways of learning that work around your brain's natural resistance.
Wow, that's incredible. It's like having a personal language tutor who understands how your brain works and can tailor the lessons to your specific needs.
Precisely. And the AI can even predict plateaus before they happen by analyzing your learning patterns. It can proactively adjust your learning path to prevent those moments of frustration and discouragement.
That's amazing. It's like having a language learning guardian angel who's always looking out for you, making sure you stay on track and motivated.
Exactly. And remember, learning a language is a journey, not a race. There will be ups and downs, moments of excitement and moments of frustration. But with the help of AI, you can navigate those challenges more effectively and enjoy the process along the way.
This is all so inspiring. It really feels like we're on the cusp of a language learning revolution. But with all this focus on technology, I'm curious about the role of human connection. Is there still a place for human interaction in this new world of AI-powered language learning?
That's a crucial question, and one that I'm glad you asked, because the answer is a resounding yes. In fact, the most powerful aspect of AI language learning isn't about replacing human interaction, it's about enhancing it in ways that were never before possible.
That's fascinating. So how does that actually work in practice?
Well, think about the perfect language learning partner, someone who's infinitely patient, available 24/7, never gets tired of your questions, and somehow knows exactly what you need to learn next. That's what AI brings to the table.
It sounds like the ultimate language learning companion. But how does that create more opportunities for human connection?
The most successful language learners have discovered what experts call the AI-human synergy effect. They use AI systems to master the technical aspects of language, grammar, vocabulary pronunciation, which then frees them to use their human interaction time for what really matters. Genuine communication, cultural exchange, and building real relationships.
That makes perfect sense. It's like having AI lay the foundation so you can build a beautiful house of human connection on top of it.
Exactly. The AI handles the heavy lifting of technical instruction, while human teachers become more like cultural guides and conversation partners.
So it's a partnership that's making language learning more effective and more enjoyable than ever before.
Absolutely. And as AI systems become more advanced, they're actually creating more opportunities for meaningful human interaction.
That's amazing. I'm really starting to see how AI can not only help us learn languages faster, but also connect with people on a deeper level.
Precisely. It's a win-win situation. AI empowers us to break down language barriers and build bridges of understanding across cultures. Now that we've explored the incredible potential of AI language learning, let's dive into some real-world examples of how this technology is being used today. We've moved beyond those clunky translation apps that made you sound like a robot. Remember those?
Oh, I definitely remember those. It was like trying to have a conversation with a toaster.
Well, those days are fading fast. The technology has advanced so rapidly that we're now seeing AI language tutors that can hold their own in complex conversations. I recently saw a college student having a deep philosophical debate with an AI tutor in 4 different languages.
Wow, 4 languages. That's incredible. What were they debating?
It was a discussion about the nature of consciousness and the ethics of artificial intelligence. The AI wasn't just regurgitating pre-programmed responses. It was actually engaging in a nuanced and thought-provoking conversation, adapting to the students' arguments and even challenging their assumptions.
That's wild. It sounds like these AI tutors are becoming more like intellectual sparring partners. But what about the emotional side of language? Can AI really understand and respond to human emotions?
That's a great question, and one that researchers are actively exploring. The latest generation of AI language tutors is incorporating what we call emotional intelligence mapping. They can sense your mood and adjust their teaching style accordingly. If you're feeling frustrated, they might crack a joke to lighten the mood or offer words of encouragement. If you're feeling confident, they might challenge you with more advanced material.
So it's like having a language tutor who's also a therapist and a cheerleader.
Exactly. They're designed to support you not only intellectually, but also emotionally. They can provide personalized feedback, celebrate your successes, and help you stay motivated even when you encounter challenges.
That's incredible. It sounds like these AI tutors are becoming more like learning companions than just tools. But how do they actually achieve this level of sophistication? What's going on under the hood?
The technology behind all this is incredibly complex, but let me try to break it down in a way that makes sense. Essentially, we're talking about neural networks that are modeled after the human brain. These networks consist of billions of interconnected nodes that process information in a way that's similar to how our own neurons fire.
So it's like having a mini brain inside the computer.
In a way, yes. Every time you interact with an AI language system, you're feeding it information that helps it learn and grow. It analyzes your words, your tone of voice, your facial expressions, even your typing patterns, and uses that data to improve its understanding of language and how humans use it.
That's incredible. It's like the AI is constantly learning and evolving, just like we are. But with all this data being processed, how do these systems ensure privacy? I mean, it sounds like they're collecting a lot of personal information.
You're right, privacy is a huge concern, and the developers of these systems are taking it very seriously. They've implemented a number of safeguards to protect your data, including encryption, anonymization, and something called federated learning.
Federated learning. That sounds familiar. Can you remind me what that is?
Of course. Federated learning is a way for AI systems to learn from data without actually collecting or storing that data centrally. Essentially, the AI model is trained on millions of devices simultaneously, but your individual data never leaves your device. It's like having a global team of scientists working on a research project, but each scientist only has access to their own data.
That's a brilliant solution. It means that the AI can benefit from the collective wisdom of millions of users without compromising anyone's privacy.
Exactly. Privacy is paramount in this field, and developers are constantly working on new ways to ensure that your data is protected.
That's reassuring to hear. So we've talked about the incredible advances in AI language tutoring and the technology that makes it possible. But what about the science behind all this? How is AI actually changing the way our brains learn languages?
That's a fascinating area of research that's really starting to shed light on the mysteries of language acquisition. We're discovering that AI-assisted learning can actually accelerate the process of forming neural connections in the brain.
So it's like the AI is giving our brains a turbo boost.
In a way, yes. Traditional language learning methods rely on repetition and memorization, which can be slow and tedious. But AI systems can personalize the learning process, targeting specific areas where you need improvement and presenting information in a way that's most effective for your brain.
So it's like having a personal trainer for your brain, but instead of building muscles, you're building fluency.
Exactly. And we're seeing some incredible results. Studies have shown that learners using AI-assisted methods can achieve proficiency levels in a fraction of the time it takes with traditional methods. They're also retaining information better and experiencing less frustration along the way.
That's amazing. It sounds like AI is not only making language learning faster, but also more enjoyable. But what are the long-term effects? Are there any concerns about relying too heavily on technology for language acquisition?
That's a valid concern and one that researchers are carefully considering. However, the early evidence suggests that AI-assisted learning can actually enhance our cognitive abilities. By automating certain aspects of language learning, AI frees up our brains to focus on higher-level tasks like critical thinking, problem-solving, and creative expression.
So it's like having AI handle the grunt work so our brains can focus on the more interesting stuff.
Exactly. It's about leveraging technology to augment our human capabilities, not replace them.
That's a powerful concept. It makes me think about all the other areas of education where AI could have a similar impact.
Absolutely. The potential is enormous. Imagine AI systems that can personalize learning for every student, regardless of their background, learning style, or abilities. Imagine a world where everyone has access to high-quality education tailored to their unique needs and aspirations.
That's a beautiful vision. It's exciting to think about the possibilities. But let's get back to language learning. We've talked about AI tutoring, but what are the other ways that AI is transforming this field? What about things like pronunciation training, vocabulary acquisition, and cultural immersion?
Those are all areas where AI is making incredible strides. Let's start with pronunciation. Traditionally, pronunciation training involved listening to audio recordings and repeating phrases over and over again. But AI systems can now analyze your speech patterns in real time, providing personalized feedback and guidance on how to improve your accent.
So it's like having a personal pronunciation coach in your pocket.
Exactly. And it goes even further. AI systems can now create personalized pronunciation exercises based on your specific needs. They can identify the sounds you're struggling with and provide targeted practice to help you master them.
That's amazing. It's like having a pronunciation trainer who knows exactly what you need to work on.
Precisely. And the same goes for vocabulary acquisition. AI systems can now analyze your reading and listening habits, identifying the words you're likely to encounter, and presenting them to you in a way that's most effective for your learning style. They can even create personalized flashcards, quizzes, and games to help you learn and retain new vocabulary.
So it's like having a vocabulary tutor who's always one step ahead of you, anticipating your needs and providing the right resources at the right time.
Exactly. And when it comes to cultural immersion, AI is opening up a whole new world of possibilities. Virtual reality environments are becoming so sophisticated that you can now experience different cultures firsthand without ever leaving your home. Imagine walking through the streets of Tokyo, interacting with virtual locals, and practicing your Japanese in a completely immersive setting.
That sounds incredible. It's like having a portal to another world right in your living room.
Exactly. And the AI can guide you through the experience, providing cultural insights, explaining customs and traditions, and even helping you navigate social situations.
This is all so mind-blowing. It really feels like AI is transforming language learning in ways that we could only have dreamed of a few years ago. But with all this technology, it's easy to forget about the human element. What about the role of human teachers and mentors? Are they becoming obsolete in this new world of AI-powered language learning?
That's a great question and one that I'm often asked. But the answer is a resounding no. Human teachers and mentors are more important than ever in the age of AI. In fact, AI is actually enhancing the role of human educators by automating certain tasks and freeing up teachers to focus on what they do best, building relationships, fostering creativity, and inspiring a love of learning.
So it's not about replacing human teachers with robots. It's about creating a partnership where AI and humans work together to provide the best possible learning experience.
Exactly. AI can provide personalized instruction, track progress, and offer feedback, but it can't replace the human connection that's so essential to learning. Human teachers can provide encouragement, motivation, and cultural insights that AI systems simply can't replicate.
That makes perfect sense. It's about leveraging the strengths of both AI and humans to create a truly holistic learning experience. But what about the social aspect of language learning? How is AI changing the way we interact with others in a language learning context?
That's another area where AI is having a huge impact. Traditionally, language learners relied on language exchange partners or conversation groups to practice their speaking skills. But AI systems are now creating virtual language learning communities where learners from all over the world can connect and interact with each other.
So it's like having a global language learning party happening 24/7.
Exactly. These virtual communities provide a safe and supportive environment for learners to practice their skills, share tips and resources, and build friendships with people from different cultures.
That's amazing. It sounds like a fantastic way to overcome the isolation that many language learners experience. But what about the quality of the interactions? Can AI really facilitate meaningful conversations between people from different cultures?
That's a great question, and one that AI developers are actively working on. The latest generation of AI systems is incorporating what we call cultural intelligence mapping. They can detect cultural differences in communication styles and provide real-time feedback to help learners avoid misunderstandings and build rapport.
So it's like having a cultural mediator built into the conversation.
Exactly. The AI can help learners bridge cultural gaps and communicate more effectively. It can also suggest topics of conversation, facilitate group activities, and even provide translations when needed.
This is all so exciting. It really feels like AI is opening up a whole new world of possibilities for language learning. But I'm curious about something. We've talked about the positive aspects of AI, but are there any potential downsides or risks that we need to be aware of?
That's a crucial question and one that we need to address. While AI offers incredible potential for language learning, there are also some potential risks that we need to be mindful of. One concern is the potential for bias. AI systems are trained on data, and if that data reflects existing biases in society, those biases can be amplified in the AI's output.
So if the AI is trained on data that's predominantly from one culture or one demographic group, it might perpetuate those biases in its interactions with learners from other cultures or demographic groups.
Exactly. That's why it's so important to ensure that the data used to train AI systems is diverse and representative of the populations that will be using those systems.
That makes perfect sense. So diversity in data is crucial. But what about the role of human oversight? Can we really trust AI systems to make decisions about language learning without any human intervention?
That's another important point. While AI can automate many aspects of language learning, it's crucial to have human oversight to ensure that the AI is functioning properly and that it's being used in an ethical and responsible way. Human teachers and mentors need to be involved in the process of designing, implementing, and evaluating AI systems to ensure that they are aligned with our values and that they are meeting the needs of learners.
So it's not about handing over control to the machines, it's about creating a partnership where AI and humans work together to achieve common goals.
Exactly. AI is a powerful tool, but it's just that, a tool. It's up to us to use it wisely and responsibly to enhance human learning and connection. It's been an amazing journey exploring the world of AI language learning and its potential to connect us all on a deeper level. But as we wrap up our deep dive, I'd like to touch on one last crucial element: overcoming those pesky learning plateaus that we all inevitably face.
Yeah, those plateaus can be so frustrating. You're making great progress, and then suddenly it feels like you've hit a wall. What's going on in our brains when this happens, and how can AI help us break through?
It's fascinating, actually. Our brains love efficiency. So when we reach a certain level of proficiency in a new language, our brains kind of say, okay, good enough, let's move on to something else. But true fluency requires pushing past that comfort zone.
So how does AI help us outsmart our own brains in this situation?
AI systems can track our progress with incredible precision, noticing tiny improvements that we might miss. They can also pinpoint our cognitive resistance points, those specific areas where our brains dig in their heels and resist new information. It's like having a personal trainer who knows exactly when to push you harder and when to offer encouragement and support.
That personalized approach sounds incredibly valuable. It's like having a custom-designed workout routine for your brain.
Exactly. And AI can also help us stay motivated by adjusting the difficulty level of our learning materials, introducing new concepts at just the right pace, and keeping us engaged with interactive exercises and games. It's like having a language learning DJ who knows exactly what tunes to play to keep you moving forward.
It sounds like AI is taking a lot of the guesswork out of language learning, which can be a huge relief for anyone who's struggled with traditional methods. But with all this talk about technology, I want to circle back to something we touched on earlier: the importance of human connection.
You're absolutely right. We can't forget that language is fundamentally about human connection. It's about sharing our thoughts, feelings, and experiences with others. It's about building relationships and creating a sense of belonging. AI can be an amazing tool for language learning, but the ultimate goal is to use our language skills to connect with other human beings.
I couldn't agree more. It's like learning to play a beautiful musical instrument. The real joy comes from sharing the music with others, not just practicing scales alone in a room. So how can we make sure that AI enhances our human connections rather than replacing them in the language learning process?
That's a great question. The key is to use AI as a tool for connection, not isolation. We can use AI to find language partners who share our interests, to practice conversations in a safe and supportive environment, and to explore different cultures. We can also use AI to translate and interpret languages, breaking down communication barriers and allowing us to connect with people from all over the world.
That's a powerful vision. It's exciting to think about AI helping us build bridges of understanding across cultures. But I think it's important to acknowledge that not everyone is comfortable with the idea of AI playing such a prominent role in language learning. Some people worry that AI will dehumanize the learning process, or that it will lead to a loss of creativity and spontaneity in human interaction.
Those are valid concerns. It's important to have open and honest conversations about the role of AI in education, and to ensure that AI is used in a way that aligns with our values. But I believe that AI has the potential to enhance human connection rather than diminish it. By automating certain tasks and providing personalized support, AI can free up our time and energy to focus on the things that make us uniquely human: creativity, empathy, and the joy of connecting with others.
That's a beautiful perspective. It's about finding the right balance between technology and human interaction, using AI to enhance our strengths and to create more opportunities for meaningful connection.
Exactly. It's about using AI as a tool for empowerment, not replacement. It's about using AI to create a world where everyone has the opportunity to learn languages, to connect with others, and to contribute their unique talents and perspectives to the global community.
This has been an absolutely incredible journey. I'm feeling so inspired and hopeful about the future of language learning. We've explored the latest advancements in AI, the science behind language acquisition, the importance of human connection, and the power of community. But before we say goodbye, I want to remind our listeners that they have the power to shape the future of language learning. Embrace new technologies, connect with other learners, and never stop exploring the world of languages. The future is yours to create.
Beautifully said. And remember, every language you learn opens a new door to the world, a new window into another culture, and a new opportunity to connect with someone you might never have met otherwise. So keep learning, keep exploring, and keep connecting.
This has been an amazing deep dive into the world of AI and language learning. Thanks for joining us. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. And be sure to leave a comment below letting us know what you think. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, happy learning.